Hi everyone, thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel again. My name is Irene and I'm an illustrator and art teacher from the Netherlands and I live in the UK. This is the artwork that I made for this week. I've just uploaded the video and I hope you enjoy it. It's a little self-portrait of me at my desk, how I film my classes and how I am just sitting here surrounded by all my stuff. You can see I live in a slightly messy art studio most of the time. I really hope you enjoy it and thank you so much for joining. Make sure you subscribe. You can click on that little bell to get updates on when I post, but generally you can expect a video about once a week. So thank you so much for joining and I'll see you around soon. Bye. For the last few weeks I have painted some portraits and today I have a little bit less time and I have my color pencils out here for my class yesterday, so I wanted to make like a little mini self-portrait in color pencil. I'm just going to get straight in there. And what I'm going to do is make a little self-portrait of myself sitting at my desk, making some drawings. I'm going to draw the way my desk is set up and then myself here in the background. So I made a little sketch. This is my sketch. So no reference, this is just the sketch that I'm using. And I am just putting that there against my light. And I'm just going to get straight in there. So I think this is going to be the desk. So I know this is really light, I'll make it a little bit darker in a moment. So then I have a computer screen here. And my plan is to keep this quite simple. So I do not want to make this a really realistic illustration. I was thinking maybe I could use this on my website somewhere at the front to show how I'm running my classes and what that looks like. So I just wanted to create something fun in an illustrative style that suits me and just see what that's going to look like. So I'm sitting here. I currently have a photo of myself on my website, which I like, but I'm an illustrator and I think it would be fun to have something a little bit more on topic, a little bit more illustrated on there as well. Either to replace it or perhaps to in addition to the photo. I don't know. This might all turn out really crappy and then I am not going to use it, but perhaps I will. So this is going to be me. I realize this is very light, but it will become a bit more vibrant in a moment. I am quite light skinned, so I use this light pink color for my skin tone. So I'm thinking I could be working on a piece of paper here. It's okay if the proportions are not super realistic. Need to keep time on the my eye on the time a little bit because I have a phone call shortly. So I might have to pause this recording for a little bit. So, giving myself some ears as well. I actually realized that I might be working a little bit too small for a portrait, but that's alright. I'm just going to see how far I get. So So I usually wear my hair in a braid. And I'm going to wear my yellow and orange dungarees. I have a pair of really bright dungarees that always make me feel a little bit more arty. So I'm going to wear those. See, there we go. It already starts to become a little bit more vibrant. I might have to give myself some background, otherwise I cannot see my skin color, but that's okay as well. So is this actually my illustration style? It is, although I have not used these sort of doodle illustrations for a little while. But it's something I'd like to get back into. So to get started with a little self-portrait is a really good place to get back into this. And I always really enjoy little cartoons and a little bit of self-reflection sort of cartoons or, you know, relatable, funny content. And I'm not sure if I'm a very funny person, but I do think quite a lot of funny things happen to me sometimes. So maybe I can do something with that and create some content that, about my own sort of clumsy creative art life. Let's see how we get on with that. So this is the table. See, very different from the paintings that I've made over the last few weeks, but I thought it'd be fun to show you something different as well, something that is a little bit less, you know, arty, big arty, capital A, but a little bit more fun and light. So this is going to be a camera. I don't know if you can tell, this is my my interpretation of a camera. I always loved making photos, but I'm not very good at it, I'm afraid. But for filming, I need a good camera, just because I want my classes to be good quality, and I find that when you use a webcam, the vision becomes very blurry. So I have quite a good high quality camera that I use for my art classes.
my first DSLR when I was in China, and I used it for a little while, but I found that it was just a bit too big to carry around all the time. So I sold it and I just bought a small sort of pocket camera, and this is the first time that I'm using a DSLR again for quite a few years. So
I used to make a lot of these little cartoon drawings when I was younger. I used to make little birthday cards for my friends, and my mum and family have some of these sort of little drawings with themselves in them, framed in their house. And yeah, I used to do it quite a lot. And then at some point, I decided I wanted to get better at making realistic drawings and portraits and slightly more, serious drawings. And I started to make a little bit less of these fun, illustrative, little drawings. And I really enjoy getting back into it. I want to, create some little cartoons and some art with some messages. It doesn't have to be really heavy, but light-hearted is absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be super realistic. It's more about the message, the story, than about the drawing being perfect. And I just really enjoy making that. So I'm going to make some more of these in the foreseeable future. I often want to make so many different things. I want to create portraits. I want to get really good at drawing animals. I want to improve my quick sketches and sketches from live drawing. I want to get better with digital artwork, and I find it really hard to choose a certain direction with my art sometimes. And I decided that I'm not going to choose. It's fine if that means that I progress a little bit less fast into a certain specialty, but I just love creating lots of different things and using lots of different mediums. So that is what I'm going to do, and what I'm already doing, and what I get most joy out of. So this is what I'm keeping doing, for the future as well. Sometimes it feels like you have to pick something specific and then stick with that and not do anything else. But I'm ignoring that message. I'm just doing what gives me most joy and what I love doing most. I think there's a lot of moments in life when we are expected to specialize into a certain direction really quick. And I think it starts in school, where you start, you have to pick a certain direction, and then certain subjects. In Holland you have different profiles, and here in the UK you have certain subjects for your A levels, and then that means you can get into a specific university, and you have to choose what you want to be when you're grown up. And there's so many times when you have to pick a specialization, but it's very hard to take a step back on that journey and to go into a different direction, because often it feels that we're sort of going backwards in our life. And that is such a shame, because I think there's so much joy in trying out lots of different things, and just enjoying and exploring and learning. And you don't always have to be a specialist. It's okay to be a student, and it's okay to know a little bit about lots of different things. I think that is an undervalued skill sometimes. And adaptability as well. The ability of trying something new and learning it and picking it up fast, instead of getting stuck because it's something you're not specialized in. So, I've decided I allow myself to experiment and just have fun with my art.
So, yeah, I was thinking about it when I bought that first digital camera, the first DSLR, in China, and I was traveling by myself at the time, and there's really something about solo travel that I think you learn so much from. And I've done quite a lot of traveling by myself on my own in lots of different countries, and I think it really gives you a sense of independence and capability, and just the being by yourself, sort of, and going to museums by yourself. And there's you're much more open to meeting other people when you're traveling by yourself. And yeah, I'd really recommend it. And I think a lot of people that I know are a little bit scared of traveling by themselves. They find it a little bit daunting, or they're worried that they're not safe, or that they're lonely. And yeah, of course you need to take precautions to stay safe. I would always recommend to let people know where you are, to make sure you have a copy of your ID sort of in your email. So make sure you have some photos of your ID and of your travel insurance, all that sort of stuff in your email inbox, so you can access that really easily if you lose your bag or something. Always dress fairly modest. I think this is a bit of a tricky one, because I do not want to blame women if things happen to them, like bad things happen to them, of course. But I think when you're traveling by yourself, especially in countries where clothing is a little bit more modest than it is in Europe or in the US, it is worth just adapting to sort of local modesty guidelines a little bit. So wear things that you feel safe in. If everyone's staring at you, it can feel a bit unsafe. I find it unpleasant if people are staring at me, so I always make sure I have a scarf with me or something that I can put around me. If I want to, and I wear like quite loose trousers, and I usually find these sort of clothes more comfortable anyway, and that's actually what I wear at home as well. But for example, when I traveled in India, I wouldn't wear really short shorts. I would rather wear something a little bit looser and longer that I would feel more comfortable in the moment. I've seen girls wearing really short shorts, and then people, sort of harassing them a little bit, and I don't think that's a pleasant experience. I always try to avoid that. So I think there's some sort of things you can keep in mind to feel a little bit more safely. But it also depends a lot on what countries you go to. Solo travel doesn't have to be to a place that seems very unfamiliar to you, but you can go to travel in your own country. Like go for a weekend, travel somewhere, spend some time by yourself, and just see how that feels, and how more open you are to speaking to new people. For example, if you're traveling by yourself, I find that one of the best parts of solo travel is how more open you are to meeting new people and to have conversations, and the more more people are speaking to you as well when you're by yourself, compared to when you're in a group. People would not speak to you as quickly as when you're by yourself. So I'm going to add some pen to this. You can see I've done a little bit in the face and other places already. making this into a little artwork. Something that I always really enjoyed when I was traveling by myself is couch surfing. And I know some people might find couch surfing a little bit scary, but I always chose women to stay with, so I've never couch surfed in a men's home. Well, actually, this is not actually true. I have couch surfed where I stayed in the home of someone who's male. But I was with a friend at the time, so I wasn't doing that alone. But yeah, I would always stay with women. You have a bit of contact beforehand, meet somewhere in a sort of neutral place. And then if it feels good, you can go stay there and just follow your gut instinct. And always make sure you have some money sort of reserves that if you arrive at a couch surfing place and it doesn't feel safe, that you can decide to leave and go somewhere else. You don't want to arrive somewhere and then it not feeling good and then feeling that you have to stay. So that's another tip. But couchsurfing is a really great way to meet local people and to have a bit of a local guide who can show you places to go to, places to eat, and you instantly meet some people en route as well. So I always had really great experiences when I went couchsurfing. But yeah, a few tips to couchsurf in a safe way is to make sure you have some money with you, or to make sure you have enough money to stay in a hotel if you need to, if you arrive somewhere you don't feel safe, that you don't feel like you have to stay in that place, but make sure you can go if you want to. And to arrive on time as well. If you arrive somewhere really late and it's already dark outside and you don't know the town, it's much harder to decide to go and find another place. But if you arrive on time in the middle of the day and you don't want to stay, then you might feel a little bit more free to go somewhere else. So all of these are sort of side points to help with traveling a little bit. So it's a bit of organization. Make sure you research the person you're staying with, for example. So I think I might be almost done. I'm not 100% sure if this is going to be my new website profile picture. Maybe I need something a little bit more bright in there. I like the style. I'm happy with this style. You've got a slightly long arm, and I quite like that as well. Doesn't all have to be perfect. I think maybe another painting here. This is my picture wall that I have behind me. Some framed art. So Have you ever made a self-portrait before? It's quite fun. How do you view yourself? What are the things that you want to surround yourself with? What are things that sort of characterize you? So I'm just thinking of some subjects that could be in these paintings. I think what I'm missing is a coffee cup, and then I think I am finished. So it's usually tea as a coffee cup. I love coffee, but I'm actually a much bigger tea drinker. So I'm just framing the picture a little bit, makes it a bit easier to cut it out on Photoshop. So there we go. This is my desk. So just making the colors a little bit more vibrant, a bit brighter. I like doodling with color pencil. So there we go. This is me at my desk. This is the way I'm looking at right now. So thank you so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. So just making it sharp, There we go, a nice end shot. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you've ever traveled by yourself anywhere, if you've done any solo travel, and also what your desk looked like. Is your desk as messy as mine? Mine is, I think, probably a bit messier than this in reality. Thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I post a new video every week with a drawing or a painting or something creative. So make sure you tune in and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.